Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Psychology 101, where we study people raging about video games. Down here on the bottom left side of the map, and oh man, I say, how many of these games are we doing lately where it kicks off right at the start? I don't even get a chance to do an intro. Vesper in the bottom left, the Protoss player, says, good luck, have fun. Paris Bentley in the top right says, do you want to fight in real life after the game? To be fair, they asked quite nicely. Very well worded. Well typed out, well spaced. I've got to wonder if that's a copy paste or not. I don't think you want that, lol, says Vest. But that's confidence. I sense someone who does martial arts, physically strong or athletic, or perhaps senses that their opponent is an idiot on the internet who doesn't really mean what they say. I don't know why. I feel like Vesper is actually a very physically strong, confident person. I don't know why I sense that from a few words typed. Probably my imagination. You guys let me know where you fall on this. And it is a copy-paste. Yeah, it's a copy-paste. It's mindless spam. I think Vesper's already identified that Paris Bentley is just copy-pasting. You can tell because the capitalization is exactly the same between these messages. This is not rage. This is not salt. This is simply a distraction tactic. 3 lava was sitting there for a little while. Let's check the APM. Both players at about 70 APM. Not the best build order so far from Bentley. It's not terrible. I'd say looking about Platinum League macro. Could be a bit higher, could be a bit lower. Not sure for now. Vesper's going to come in for a bit of a scout. So, if you're someone who has a copy-paste to throw your opponent off, you might otherwise be a bit of a chill person, you're doing it a few times, and then you just think it's kind of funny to have like a little copy-paste message. But there's something about this one right at the start. Do you want to fight in real life after the game? Do you want to fight in real life after the game? There's no banter here, there's no creativity really. It's just kind of a dumb message, and I always think it's got to be part of like a bit, right? And don't get me wrong, trolls on the internet's bits are not the best, not the most refined. If there was like, if we had to think of like comedy, think of an open mic show at the local pub with 2 old dudes sitting at the bar, no one else there, and no, it's even worse. It's the guy who's trying to do stand-up in the urinal, like in the public bathroom next to the open mic. I think that's kind of what trolls on the ladder, their level of humor is usually around. Like it's pretty lowbrow, low tier, and it's usually just ha 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 ha. It's more spammy than anything else, right? I think we've seen so many people who go, oh, you're gay or something like that, and they just spam, you're gay, you eat dicks, and like they really believe in quantity over quality, I feel, on the StarCraft ladder. There's people who will just spam out a message enough times, and they'll think, this is how I win if I just say it enough. And don't get me wrong, we've seen our fair share of players who take the bait and actually end up going, I'm not gay, or something. And you're just like, why are you defending yourself or arguing with this person? But so far, Vesper's seemed pretty calm. Going for an adept, 3 gates on the high ground, no wall off, which is definitely a bit dicey, but there's no ling speed for Zerg. And we're going 1 base lair right now. Well, I mean, not 1 base technically is a natural, but only droning very slowly. And it's 2 workers on each gas with a super quick roach horn. So this is a very derpy build. I love it. A 3 gate with no wall off versus a quick roach speed build, I imagine. Okay, this is gonna be a disaster of a game. I love it. It's always good to watch the salt mines, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like StarCraft and competition in general is something that challenges your ego. You both use your ego to fuel your desire to compete a lot of the time. It's a big part of what makes us human. But honestly, peak mindset is all about trying to contain it and make sure you don't let your ego run away with you and make you do crazy or dumb things and panic under pressure. Oh, speaking of panicking, we got a Nidus momentum going now. That's going to be tough for Vesper to deal with. Vesper's getting a Robo and 5 gates already. That's a lot of production, and they will have Warp Gate and a Forge and a Shield Battery, but I worry they don't have any actual units right now. And if there's Roaches and Queens coming out of 30 drones, Paris Bentley might actually be able to break in. This could actually get kind of nasty. It's already an Overlord over here on the left, so it's going to pop up in the main. If they hide it up here, then Vesper's also not going to see it coming. But 2 Adepts are coming across the map. Maybe Vesper can get in there and kill some drones, or at least delay the Roaches and the Queens kind of getting in the Nidus a little bit. We'll see how this one goes. Oh, man. I don't know. This is kind of exciting. I feel like Paris Bentley... Man, if Paris Bentley sent this in and they're the one who just starts with, do you want to fight in real life after the game? And they just win with a Nidus. This is, I almost need my sort of replays to troll me one day. I need the lovely Jacob, who's been grabbing these replays for me recently, to just be like, oh yeah, it's actually the Rager who sends in the replay. They win, and then they just smack talk the guy while they're winning. I'm like, I hate people like that so much. It's such a sad thing to do. But anyway, here goes the Nidus. We have Nidus inside the main base. Okay. Oh my god, he hasn't noticed. Vespa, wake up, Vespa, Vespa. Oh my god, Vespa has no units. Vespa literally has no units except 2 adepts on the other side of the map. Oh man, I mean, there's a lot of production, but roaches and queens coming on out. There's 5 gateways, 3 stalkers warping in. There's a warp prison building. That is not going to help that warp prison. The adepts are being brought home as well. The roaches and the queens are stopping to attack the nexus. They really should kill this pylon. If they kill this pylon, they could do a lot. I mean, there is a robo on the natural and 3 gates on the natural, so there's probably still enough production to build some army, but oh, actually, supply block's pretty big. Oh my god, letting the probes get away? Paris Bentley's cooking the whole army on a gateway. Oh, this is some really noob micro, and he's spamming creep tumors so that they don't have any transfuse energy. This is a really noob usage of a Nidus. You only need 1 or 2 creep tumors in here, guys. That you should be saving energy for transfuse. The Stalkers and the Adapts plus the cannon on the low ground. There's an Immortal trying to be built, but the problem is the Immortal doesn't actually have supply to build right now. The Stalker and the Adepts come into the high ground trying to defend. Vespa pulls back but leaves the Stalker behind. Battery overcharge will be able to keep him alive. Vespa needs to build a bunch of pylons. There we go. Bunch of pylons going down. There's 5 gateways on the low ground. Paris is getting massive damage done right now. Units lost tab looking fantastic for our Zerg player. Zerg player building 4 Overlords behind this. Is still building Roaches right now. Stalkers technically can out-micro these units. But I don't think Vespa has the best micro. Like, I feel like Paris Bentley probably could just run down that ramp and win the game. But battery overcharge is still there. You could pull probes. Yeah, you probably can't straight up break a cannon for Stalkers and battery overcharge. Stalkers run up to the high ground. Another one of them does take big damage. Once the Immortal's out, Vespa's going to be in a much better position. But right now, it's 34 probes on 1 base versus 2 base to Zerg. The droning has started. Another 4 Overlords are building. Not a single inject has gone down behind this pressure. This queen has 3 injects. That one has 4 injects available. But instead, we're spreading creep in the main base. Priorities. The units hop back inside the Nidus Worm. All the creep's going to get cleaned up. Are we going to pop out of the Nidus Worm? You don't have enough units really to ambush this. And that's going to shut this one down for now. The production tab is completely empty. Paris Bentley finally starts a 3rd base. 5 drones and 2 queens. Still has not dropped a lava inject. Oh my god. Paris Bentley could literally have like 60 workers right now. Could be so far ahead off this opening. Instead, we're going 3 Evo chambers on 35 drones. Okay, 2 and a Hydra dent. Alright, it's not too bad, but you're up against a 1 base Protoss. Do you really need Evo chambers right now? You need to inject your hatcheries. You know, the thing that makes Zerg production work? They did a single inject on the natural, no inject. Oh, okay, 1 inject in the main now, finally. My god, they've missed like literally 30 lava of production, and they're not building extra hatcheries. They've just got a 3rd. If you're floating money, you can't spend it. You're meant to build like 3-4 macro hatcheries. I've actually drilled this into so many like platinum and gold players over the last year, because I just kept seeing them be like, oh, I've got to build correct production. I'm like, mate, you got to build correct production, but if you float 3,000 minerals, just throw 5 hatcheries down. I don't care where they are. 3 macro hatcheries, 2 bases, whatever. Add them to your key. You need more production, mate. Especially if you're not going to queue up injects. For those who don't know, you can use shift. You can just dump like 6 injects on a hatchery, and when one finishes, the next automatically starts. But Paris Bentley, not too clear on how to do that, is still droning. Has 0 map vision. There is a counterattack coming across. It's a 1 base Protoss counterattack that is hitting after 2 minutes of losing the main. The main is being rebuilt. Vespa's coming with charge. And oh my god, we're still droning. Okay, Paris Bentley is still droning right now. The game knowledge, the extent of the follow-up, super high level. This is truly peak StarCraft, guys. Like, don't get me wrong. If there's a swift counterattack, sometimes it catches even a high-level player off guard. This took, like, what, 2-3 minutes? This is so long. They stopped to kill all the creep in the main, wait for it to disappear, rebuild their main base, and only now are they attacking. There's slow zealots. Oh my god, why are we attacking into this? Paris Bentley, transfuse, you moron! Oh my god, they've got, like, 30 transfuses there, and they're not using a single one. And they're dying to slow zealots. Now charge kicks in. They're building 7 hydras now. They've got 8 more lava that they're not using. Oh my god, they build 6 roaches, 7 hydras. It's so low level. To be fair, for somebody who started the game with "Would you fight me in real life?" They're not exactly the brightest light bulb. You know, they're not exactly the smartest one here. I don't think. Drones getting slaughtered, and that's going to be that. This is Immortal, Roaches, Stalker, Zealots are just going to absolutely destroy. And it looks like it is indeed going to be Paris who brings out some absolute stupidity. I'm going to fight you. You have a tiny penis. My penis is bigger than yours. No. It's like... That's what I'm gambling on. That's what I'm betting. BS. It's BS. Yes, it's BS. You are reported. This is so low tier, man. Guys, what's happening on StarCraft ladder? What is happening that people's rage is so bad these days? If we were face to face at this moment in time, you would be dead, effing dead. What is? Nope. Vespa with the confidence is like, yeah, nah. You would never say shit to my face. I would. I'm buff and handsome. I love Vespa. This is the funniest response ever. And okay, Paris Bentley drops a name. I'm not going to dox this, and an address. And then says, what is your address? And then drops a phone number as well and says, let's go. And they drop the short version of Fajot, the homophobic slur. Wow. Just wow. Okay, so obviously we've asked the editor to blur that out. I've just spent the last 5-10 minutes Googling this name and address, and I found a bunch of people that have come up on like LinkedIn accounts of people with this name. This is just, someone is an automaton controller. Someone else works at the Bethlehem College. There's all these different things. This is obviously not the person who's actually raging. Have they gone and posted someone else's address that's like their mortal enemy, their nemesis, like someone who stole their high school girlfriend or something? Is this the thing? They say, do you want to fight in real life at the start? So every time they lose, they can basically dox like a nemesis of theirs, hoping that one angry guy on the internet's going to go and cause trouble for them, or like call them and be like, fuck you, why'd you BM me in the video game? Like, why'd you call me names in the video? Like, the reason I'm grappling with this concept, because I've gone down to Street View and I've been looking at this house, and it's a pretty nice house that the address was. Don't get me wrong, it's probably not actually this player's house, right? It's probably not actually this player's house in this scenario. But out there, of all the people doing this sort of weird, crazy thing, there's probably one guy on the internet, right? There's probably one actual Paris Bentley. I don't know if it's this one in this video game, but one who actually posts their real address and says, do you want to fight? And you might be thinking, no, Pig, no one does that. But no. Like, I've come across many people who've tried to fight me and other people, and I've seen many real-life fights break out. If you guys have ever played Dota at LAN at a low level, at local internet cafes in the early 2000s, you've seen plenty of fights over video games. Same with Counter-Strike as well. I remember these, like, roided up guys would come around the internet cafe if we killed them too much, and they'd like be trying to look at the score screen on everyone's computer to try and fight us. They'd be like, who the fuck is Fat Pigstarcraft? That was my name as a young 13-year-old. And you'd have to very quickly change your name, or these like 25 to 30-year-old gigantic, very, very man-childish, roided up adults we're like, we're going to bash the shit out of you. Who the fuck is Fat Pigstarcraft? Who's this guy? Stop fucking headshotting. You're cheating. You know, it was always wrapped up in this idea of like, you're cheating, so we're going to come bash you and teach you a lesson. Anyway, I'm absolutely floored. On the plus side, guys, I did find out the address they gave. It's actually, because of this, I've been doing geography of the United States. It turns out it's a 10-hour drive, 669 miles between the address that was given and the city where all of the people who actually have that name that have come up on Google actually live. So maybe there's some sort of Illuminati thing going. I don't know what the hell's going on. Either way, let me know your theories in the comments. I like to believe that Paris Bentley actually gave their real address and is to this day training on their punching bag, waiting for someone to show up and take them up on their offer. Whenever I think about this and the whole showing up in real life, guys, it always makes me think of this scene from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where they find the kid they go around to all the people that have been posting crap about their movie and on forums and find them. And there's just something about this that speaks to the heart of everyone who's been on the internet for a long time, because it's always these keyboard warriors, and we all just dream of this one cathartic moment, don't we? All right, let's go into the next game. We've got Woogie in the top left representing Neuro's clan. Well, I'm going to imagine this is not the person raging, guys, because Neuro's clan is about one of the most zen places on the internet. Neuro is a person who is super into good mindset, focus, has experience playing poker and StarCraft at a very high level, and is just one of the most pleasant streamers who builds a community of people who both have a great sense of humor, but are also kind of self-accountable and learn how to deal with their emotions. It's kind of crazy. It's down here in the bottom right, we've got Son of Man from Clan Ojko, who I imagine, yeah, there we go. I'm not going to even bother trying. I'm not going to... Okay, sorry. I kind of read it as I'm not even going to bother trying playing Protoss, but they mean I'm not going to even bother trying playing this game. Toss is broken as F. I agree, son of man. Toss is broken as F, especially when your opponents play better than you. You know what, guys? Saying that at the start of the game, I always say it's kind of disappointing when someone just gives up completely at the very start of the game. It makes it not very interesting. So you know what? We're going to do something different this game. Let's go into the first-person view of a player who's already mentally given up and made excuses and told their opponent, oh, I'm not even going to try, it sucks. First of all, they forgot to put a third worker on gas. So if they want to make a Reaper or a Reactor, they're not going to have 50 gas to do it. Rallying to the gas like that only makes sense if you're planning to go Marines. Still hasn't changed the rally point. Okay, cool. So we're going to watch the first-person viewpoint. They've changed the rally point now. They look like they're doing an okay build. And we're going to try and identify basically purely constructive criticism. I don't even care about doing the funnies and laughing. Like, obviously, I'm sure there'll be some silliness to it. I honestly just want to give constructive feedback for Son of Man. We're just going to depart from the whole laughing at people having breakdowns. We're just going to study what Son of Man can do better and try to get in their mindset live in the moment. For now, SCV Scout goes across. Command Center on the way. They've got an SCV here. Let's bring up the control groups down here on the right side. And you can see actively what they have selected down over there in the bottom right as well. So we've got an SCV on a hotkey, Command Center, barracks, and another SCV. Really good play so far. The Reaper is very late because of that late gas mining, so that is one thing they could fix. But so far, we've seen a completely standard opening. SCV can go home, and we can continue our build order. And you know what? It's looking pretty good so far. It's... Okay, Reaper's a bit slow to go across the map, but we did control group it on control group 0. This is not looking too bad, but we're getting a lot of money. Where's the factory? The reactor's incredibly late. That's a very late reactor. And we still don't have a factory. Okay, so factory is 20 seconds late. Reactor is 20 seconds late. Reaper is 5 to 10 seconds late. No bunker as well. Second barracks is going to go down. On the other hand, we are building a lot of things. I don't know the league of this game. 230 APM. That's a crazy amount of APM to be macroing this bad. All right. So for some reason, we're staring at this Reaper, even though there's clearly not much to be done there. And now we're just going to run back up the ledge and lose it straight away. So that was a classic lack of confidence move, guys. The moment I see that Adept, you know what I would have done? I would have clicked the Reaper to the very bottom left corner of the map. I would have just clicked down there, would have gone home and kept macroing. And then I could have queued it to go back in the main after that. But that was a lot of micro and just clicking the Reaper in front of itself for no reason. There's no reason to just be like click, 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 click. You could tell there was no real system. Now we see the bunker that's literally started 40 seconds late this game. And there's not even a single Marine out when we could already have. If we went Reaper Reactor, Reactor can be finished. Reaper can pop at 158. Reactor can pop at 234, which means by now you could have had 3 pairs. You could have had 6 Marines after the Reaper.
Complete.
Oh no! And now, like, oh my god, why are we running Marines there? Okay, we're gonna start a siege tank. Oh god! And now there's Marines popping out, but they're popping in range of the Adept. Marines outrange Adepts, guys. You can pop them further back. The Adept isn't really doing any damage right now. It's really not, because your command center is finished, so it doesn't really matter. You can drop mules on the high ground and keep macroing. But Son of Man just is not doing that. Son of Man is super gumped up. They just need to focus on their basics. But you can tell that it's definitely the mentality of saying, I'm not even going to try. But if you're not going to try, leave the game. You're not really not trying. What you're doing here is you're trying to lose, and you're actually trying very hard. And you can see it in everything they're doing, because Son of Man's doing some things well, and then they're just kind of tripping over their own feet by not really following standard rules of just, you know, TVP. It's like, if you're going to make a Reaper, you make that Reaper straight away, you go scout with it, you don't stare at it. Your barracks has to non-stop be producing in the early game. This is a rule of Terran no matter what. And then we need to keep that going. Now, we've got a lot of minerals. We haven't started the depot yet. We're not building SCVs either. We're going to build a third command center on location and double engineering bay. It has kind of looked like an okay build. 2 barracks, a factory, a starport. It's a decent setup. And at this point, we've now just lost the plot. Rather than building any workers, we've just stopped worker production. We haven't built any supply depots, which are meant to start at about 35 supply. We're now at 46 in supply box. We're going to drop all of our stuff into mules before realizing where supply dropped. Okay, we did do 1 supply drop there to help us get out of it. We're finally going to start building depots. We're only now starting SCVs. And you can see, there's nothing difficult that's happened in this game. The only excuse we have about Protoss being OP is that an Adept came in. But that Adept came at such a late moment in the game, we could have literally defended it if we just built things out of our barracks. We didn't need to worry about anything else. We just needed to build a reactor and hold down the marine key on that barracks, and it would have automatically defended the adept. But instead, we've had such a jumbled opening, and now we're still not building workers whatsoever. And here's a big problem. We're building medevacs 2 at a time. You don't need medevacs, guys. For some reason, we're scanning the natural. I don't know what we're looking for right now. We see gas on the natural, 2 gases mining. We're now going to scan again. How paranoid can you be? What if he took the other third? So we see there's a third that's just finished. Stalker's going to stim into our base. We're going to have that sniped. All right, we're stim. Oh, really bad blink micro from Woogie there. So we actually killed a bunch of them. If Son of Man can actually just hold down the worker key, get the double upgrades off those 2 engineering bays, build 3 more barracks, like this has been a super greedy opening in terms of going double upgrades in 3rd command center. But if we get away with it, 3-4 minutes from now, we'll be in an amazing position. So Son of Man is basically set up for a big macro game. Even though they started with good production, they haven't really been using it. So we just need to hold down non-stop SCVs in that top side, non-stop upgrades, non-stop SCVs. I don't mind this scan just in case there's an observer nearby. It turns out there isn't an observer, but that is already 3 scans we've used that could have been mules, which could have mined 225 minerals each. 675 minerals. I'm good with numbers.
Command center.
All right, so now we're building workers, and honestly, it looks like Woogie's letting us get away with murder. If we start building 3 SCVs at a time, which we're not, we're only building 2 right now, would be good, but we're moving out. Why are we moving out? You saw that he had no workers on his 3rd, and your 3rd's finished. You're actually ahead in this game if you just macro up. It makes no sense to attack right now. You've invested in double upgrades in a 3rd command center, none of which has paid off yet. You've done that really early, so you're doing a super greedy macro build, and yet you're attacking into the Protoss player. Your combat shield's never even started. Your 1-1 isn't done. Why would you attack right now? It makes no sense. There is no reason right now to attack the opponent. There's just, in a fundamental level, StarCraft is about invest in army for a bunch, get your army to a strong point, and then attack. That's what Terran's all about. Despite that, we're still taking an okay fight somehow. I can't believe we took an okay fight there. Oh my god, pull the SCVs away. Pull the SCVs away. What are you doing, mate? Oh, okay, of course. We're not gonna play. What an effing joke. Dude, you just died to a 3 zealot drop. You absolute nincompoop. I decided I was gonna be constructive. I'm taking it back. You can basically see Woogie says lol cry more. F up for Joe, of course, Son of Man. Son of Man literally gave up at the very start of this game. This is one of the saddest things you can do with your no skill race. Mate, nothing you did makes sense. This is your classic, I don't have a build order, I don't have a plan, I always make the wrong decision, and I complain and never take accountability. Oh, and that's it? Given your effing wins, you no skill race, Woogie just says, yeah, okay, buddy, sure, and just leaves like that. You know, the funny thing is, despite taking the worst possible attack timing that made no sense, whereas if you're going 3rd command center double engineering bay, it would have made sense to macro up, get 5 barracks, get a big army, and hit with like 1-1 upgrades and a giant army at like 9 minutes, 10 minutes, right? This whole strategy made no sense whatsoever. And remember, it wasn't looking too bad until that 3rd command center went down. Like, yes, they go for the reactor on the starport too early. You don't need medevac production until you have a lot of bio out. It's more important to get a lot of bio, then add medevacs. So the general rule is you want 3 barracks with add-ons, pumping out bio, stim, shields, +1 on the way, before you start thinking about producing medevacs. Whereas you see in this game, stim's only just about halfway done, and then bam, some medevacs start up already. So it's like, what are you gonna have, 2 medevacs for 3 marauders and friggin' 6 marines? That's, priorities are all wrong. But this is where 3rd command center goes down, and these 2 engineering. You only need 1 engineering bay, and just build a barracks, and just start pumping out units, and go for a big 2 base push. I mean, this player basically just has no decisiveness in their play. If you're going to go for the 3rd command center, you might as... I mean, it's not the worst idea to do it here, but if you're going to do that, you're playing very defensive for the next 3 or 4 minutes. You're waiting for everything to pay off. You're probably going for 2 upgrades as well if you're going double engineering bay, and you're just kind of chilling. To move out with an army when you haven't even been producing nonstop... Look at this, guys. Tanks aren't building. Marines aren't building. Marauders aren't building. Just 1 marine at a time. There's big gaps in production on all of these structures. And most of our investments going towards infrastructure and economy. We've forgotten combat shields. Despite this barracks idling, this first barracks for 90% of this game, Son of Man thinks it's a good idea to attack. And that is just your classic Salt mines. I am going to lose the game before it starts by being a bit of a whiny little wimp. And that is where a lot of the salt comes from. When people are just saying, oh, I can't win, it's unfair, and especially when they say it from the start of the game, almost always, they're going to just make some bad calls and absolutely lack responsibility. For me, though, I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts in the comments. Why do these players play like this? Why do they say this at the start of the game and then not leave? What is the push and pull there? Is it, I really just want to win so badly and I'm addicted to the feeling of winning, but I also know I'm probably not going to win? Like, there's definitely an irrational state where the player seems to be looking for some sort of gain. Anyway, it does seem to be like there's a push and pull, right, between these players where they're kind of saying to themselves, on the one side, I can't win, this is unfair, this is frustrating, let's at least absolve myself of any responsibility for losing. But on the other hand, they go, well, why are you still playing? And it seems to me they don't, like, I know on a deep level, the moment I kind of lean out of a problem and go, I just can't solve this, there's no way, I know that fulfills the prophecy. It automatically becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where you cannot win if you think you cannot win, right? This is like Mindset 101. This is what Oprah was kind of hinting at in The Secret, just talking about it in some absolutely crazy-ass voodoo way, where they're like, if you just believe you have a big dick, you'll get a big dick. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, absolute insanity from these players today. I don't know what's going on. I feel like the ladder's been very ridiculous lately in their rage. It's been very just homophobic slur. Where do you live? Tell me where you live. I'm gonna come and hurt you. Like, it's so blasé. Where is the creativity, StarCraft? What is going on? I need some more creativity to thrive. Please, if you out there are having games against people who actually say creative things to upset you, send me the bloody replays. I need more replays of actual funny stuff. These ones are just, it's the same. It's like they're on a merry-go-round of just, it's like you've almost got an AI being salty lately on the ladder, and it's disappointing. In my own games as well, when people are salty, pause on pause, go kill yourself, and they leave the game. They just say, it's so lame. It's so lame. Give me some of that fresh stuff. People out there, if you're going to be a salty cock, at least be original about it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Big thanks to all of our Patreon supporters over here, especially Maxan. And of course, anyone who wants to hop on that Leviathan tier, get on it if you're a psychopath and want to impregnate my stream. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I appreciate the support. We'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye and good night.